Alright, good day everyone. So today we're gonna do another toy review. So this is a long time coming. It kind of, I needed some convincing to do this toy review. So this is the NECA Godzilla Tokyo SOS. So it's been out for quite a while. If you're wondering why I'm reviewing it now, I was kind of saving this figure and really not opening it, but then again I figured, yeah, what the heck. So anyway, so yeah, this is NECA Godzilla Tokyo SOS. So this is probably one of the last few figures released by NECA before they lost their license for Godzilla from Toho. Anyway, so yeah, so this is one of those last releases, one of those new sculpt, new box details and all that. So anyway, so this is what the box looks like. So it has a photo or stills from the movie. They've mashed it up together. And so again, so on the sides and on the back, you'll see some more stills. On the back in particular, it's gonna show you what the figure looks like. So that's Godzilla 2003. And again, some stills from the movie. So without further ado, what we're gonna do is we're gonna open this up. Oh yeah, but before we open it up, if you open up, there's a if you open up the front of the box, you'll see a still of the figure, and it shows you a little a big window of what the figure looks like. So yeah. So let's go ahead and open up this figure and I'll catch back on you guys later. Okay, so this is what the figure looks like outside of the box. So as you can see, they did a really good job in sculpting this figure. So there are a lot of details that are done for this figure. If you can see the details on the tail section, on the body, on the legs, all of it. Especially on the head area, there are a lot of minute, intricate details that are done for this figure. So I really appreciate how NECA did all of that. I like how they did the dorsal plates as well. So the material that they use is kind of a soft plastic also. So it's really good, especially if you're gonna give this to kids. I also like how they sculpted the teeth and all and the mouth. So it's really a premium figure if you ask me. Now, my only gripe about the sculpt is how they did the design on the neck area. So if you know Godzilla 2003, if you've seen the movie, you'll see that one of the features that this Godzilla has is how they designed the neck area. So it kind of has like a collar, so to speak, on the neck area here. And the only thing that my only gripe here is that they designed it in such a way that it's one piece from the end of the head down to the shoulder area. So that's kind of going to hinder in terms of articulation later on, especially if you're posing the figure and you wanna try to raise these arms up. But anyway, we're gonna show you that later when we go to the articulation. But overall, it has a really good sculpt, and I like what NECA did in terms of sculpting this figure. Another gripe that I have is that I feel like the figure is pretty much, I mean, comparing it to the SH Monster Arts, and again later when we compare it, you'll see, I feel like the head sculpt is a bit too muscular, and I like how SH Monster Arts did their head sculpt compared to what NECA did for this figure. Now in terms of paint application, as you can see, you can see the textures that were done, the dry brushings that were done for this figure to highlight most of the details that you'll see on all over the body of this figure. And there are a mix of colors, so it's not just the usual gray. This one has some brown into it, some green on the rest of the body and on the face. And how they painted the dorsal plates are really spectacular. It does look really good, if I might add. Now, in terms of what I like the most on this figure is how they did the eyes. I feel like they did the eyes on this figure much better than how SH Monster Arts and all their googly eyes thing, how they did that. So I feel like NECA did a good job on painting the figure overall. The only gripe I have in terms of paint was how they applied, although it's really subtle and some people would like that, how they applied the scar on NECA Godzilla's on this Godzilla's chest. If you've seen the movie, there is really an evident scar when you look at Godzilla, and I feel like this is too subtle for me. So I feel like they could have added some more details to make that scar pop out. But other than that, the paint application is what this figure is really where this figure really shines. I think they could have improved again on how they apply the paint on the nails, similar to how we do how we blend those colors together so that it becomes a better better shade of yellow, black, and brown. But anyway, other than that, it's a really good figure in terms of paint application. So let's go ahead and look at the articulation on this figure. Okay, so now in terms of articulation, the head is connected to the rest of the body by a ball joint. So it's connected by a ball joint, so it could raise its head up that far and down that far. So it's kind of a bummer that it's only up to this far, because I feel like this Godzilla could look down more. But anyway, and one thing that's also interesting to point out is that, well, it's up to that far, but there is this gap right here that's really distracting. But anyway, so that's how far the head goes. And then in terms now on the mouth, it goes down that far. Actually, no, it goes down that far, which is really cool. And well, another thing that I should point out in terms of paint application, they painted that mouth really well. So there's really a lot of details there, especially on the tongue area, which is really good. Anyway, it goes down that far and then closes. And then also now on the neck area, this is kind of where the trouble is. So they could have made a better design similar to what SH Monster Arts did, although some people like it this way because it looks more fluid, because there's no cuts and lines in between those joints. But the downside here is when you try to raise the arms. So what they did was they made this out of a softer plastic material so that you could actually still do that. You could still raise the arm, but I'm not sure how that's gonna last. I mean, this is still plastic, this is probably rubber, but again, so something to watch out for. So it does raise up quite far, like that far. You could still do it, but the thing is, it's gonna be on the way, and it's gonna look like a suit, which is, well, technically it's supposed to be one, but yeah. So again, so that's kind of the limiting thing if you ask me. But it's connected by a ball joint, so you could still move it around at least a bit, which is still nice. And then in terms of well, now going on to the arms. So the arms are also connected by a ball joint to the rest of the body. And then it's a swivel and a hinge combo. on the elbow area, and you could close it up to that far, and then go as wide as that far. So that way, if it's swimming, you could do a swimming pose actually, looking up like this, which is nice. Now on the wrist. So the wrist is connected by a hinge to the hand and a ball joint. And then of course something that's signature to NECA is the palm. So on the palm area and to the fingers, it's connected by a hinge. So you could close it or open it that far. Okay, so now moving on to the chest area. So the chest area, you can do an ab crunch that goes all the way that far, or you could make it go straight that far, and of course it goes all the way around. Now on the legs, so on the hips or where the legs are connected, this initially was a bit hard to move, and kind of I have to blame how long it's been on the shelf and I haven't really touched it, so maybe that's the reason why. But yeah, so but when you've already loosened it up, it's really good. So it moves all the way around and it's connected by a ball joint. And then on the knee area, similar to how they implemented the elbow, so it's a hinge and a swivel. So it's a hinge and a swivel combo. So it goes all the way around, and then you could make it, you could bend the knees as well. And finally on the feet, it's connected by a ball joint. So just be careful not to damage the toes. But anyway, so yeah, so that's how the whole body works. Now on to the tail. So we have a few ball jointed sections on the tail. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So and then this section right here around that long is a bendy wire. You have like 10 sections from this long tail. That's all ball joints. So that way you could really make some dynamic poses with this figure. And yeah, so I'm not sure if it's just because I've stored it for quite a long time, but it does tend to pop off. It was kind of easy to put in, to be honest, to attach the tail. It's probably one of the easiest NECA that I had to NECA tails that I had to attach. But yeah, the downside is I feel like it pops off fairly easy as well. Okay, so that's the articulation on this figure. So what we're gonna do now is we are going to compare it to some of the figures that you might have in your collection. Okay, so this is what the NECA Godzilla 2003 looks like compared to the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2002. So they're basically the same Godzilla, supposedly, except for the scar that this one has, which is the sequel of where this guy originally appeared. Anyway, now in terms of just to show you, there's a really big discrepancy in terms of height. There's like around 2 inches of height, wherein this guy is really bigger. Yeah, but in terms of sculpt, as you can see here, SH Monster Arts just did a fantastic job on the sculpt on this one compared to this one. Now, in terms of paint application, I feel like I'm leaning towards the NECA here. So I feel like NECA did a better job than SH Monster Arts in terms of paint application. Overall, I mean, the dry brushing on this one was really good. The dorsal plates and how they're painted are really nice compared to the SH Monster Arts. Now here, as you can see, it's a bit, sloppily painted. But anyway, in terms of paint application, this guy wins. Especially on the eyes. So as you can see, the eyes on this guy, menacing, yeah, but a bit too unnatural, so to speak, compared to how they did the eyes on the NECA. Now, in terms of articulation, of course, it's a no-brainer. SH Monster Arts will always win. And then, of course, in terms of scale, some of the figures that you might have in your collection also is this guy, which is the SH Monster Arts Mechagodzilla. And of course, being on the same, being built by the same company, it scales perfectly with the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2002, and it's way out of scale compared to the NECA Godzilla 2003. Also, if you have one of these, which is the Bandai Movie Monster Series Mothra, so this one we've already repainted, so it looks more movie accurate. So this one scales perfectly with these two, with the SH Monster Arts Godzilla and Mechagodzilla. But it's a bit too, well, you could make the argument that it also scales well with this guy. So it's not really that bad if you have one of these, the Bandai Movie Monster Series Mothra. But in terms of Mechagodzilla is gonna be too small if you compare it to the NECA Godzilla 2003. So yeah. So final thoughts. As a standalone, and if you really want to have, like, if you're really a completionist, you want to have all the NECA figures, then I would suggest that you get this. So this is really a good figure. I mean, sculpt wise, paint application, it's really good. So if you're not really into SH Monster Arts, you want a premium Godzilla figure, then this one is not bad at all. But if you have to choose, like if you have to choose just one, and you're just gonna buy one Godzilla from that series, 2002 and 2003, then I would choose the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2002. Why? Number one, because overall, again, sculpt wise, it has a very good sculpt. It's very movie accurate. And again, if it's just the paint application, that's probably the easiest fix that you could do to a figure, if you are really that bothered by it. But in terms of, and of course, in terms of scale, it scales perfectly with the other kaijus from that movie. So if you had to choose one, I would choose the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2002. But if you want a Godzilla that's not gonna break the bank, that is also an awesome figure and an awesome sculpt overall, I would also get and consider this one. Okay, so I guess that wraps up for me, folks. So thank you guys for again supporting the channel, for watching. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Please give this video a thumbs up. And we have a lot of figures in store for you guys, so a lot of them are still on their way here, and we will update you as soon as more of those figures arrive. So yeah, again, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Peace.